The college football experience, Air Force Falcons 2025 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com with our promo code. That's TCE SGPN. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Coach June Jones, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Air Force Falcons, aim high, miss small. 2025 season preview episode, youtube.com/the college experience. Get on over there. Hit that like and subscribe button as we're breaking down all 136 teams in the land with a solo episode for each and every team in the land. And don't forget, YouTube, great to watch the shows because I got slides, visual presentation. I think really enhances the show. But at the same time, you got hidden episodes like the Nixon tapes. You know what I mean? You got shit that you don't even know is coming out on the audio side, like a Troy Calhoun interview. I got to sit down with Coach. Didn't have video available. So that is strictly on the audio side of things. That's like I'm saying, and much more entertaining than the Nixon tapes. By the way, from the tapes I've heard at least. So check out those episodes. We got a bunch of other. We got Gloria Navarez, the Mountain West commissioner. Sat down with her. ACC Media Days, coach interviews there, just everywhere. All right, just subscribe on all accounts. But excited to talk Air Force Falcon football because this guy has, and especially with this guy, youtube.com/the college experience, because I don't think he's ever been wrong on a win. Like he's projected this team fucking perfect every single time we've had him on the show, which is incredible. So excited to talk to him because, me, I grew up loving Air Force Falcon football. So excited to talk ball there. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
He's the kind of guy that would drink a gallon of gasoline so he could piss in your campfire. You could drop this guy off at the Arctic Circle wearing a pair of bikini underwear without his toothbrush, and tomorrow afternoon he's going to show up at your poolside with $1 million smile and a fistful of pesos.
Oh yeah, love me some Falcon football. Love the uniforms as a kid when you don't even know anything about sport. I looked at those uniforms and I said, I like that team. I like that team. They kick ass. All right. Very excited to talk Falcon football. Back to the days of Bo Morgan, Blaine Morgan, Chad Henning. Hell, you can go back to the 80s too. We had Scotty Wackenheim on the show, former Air Force Falcon. Go check out that episode too. I am joined by someone that has been very close to the Air Force football program over the years. Also, I like what he put in the, a Air Force super fan, right? Give it up for the great. He's been on the show for a while. He's covered Air Force football for a long time. Rick Baum, how are you, brother? And great to see you. This is like the yearly hangout, man.
It is, you had mentioned that I've been pretty clean on these predictions and just got lucky, I guess. I know this team pretty well, and I'm excited. I believe this is the 5th or 6th year we've done this. Yeah, and you have been you're batting 1,000 here, dude. Like you've killed it on this, including last year I was a skeptic of what you said. I said no, he'll find a way, but you were right. And I'll never forgive Coach Calhoun for a few years ago. I talked about this on the interview. I
I might have been the first time I met him, or if not, or maybe the first time I interviewed him. I think I met him the year before that, but at talking to him, he made it seem like his team was the worst team ever. Right. So I was like, oh shit. I was like, I came back to the LA thinking, I guess I'm wrong with my synopsis of Air Force football. I was telling my buddies, I was like, I think we should bet the under on the Falcons this year. And then he went on, I think 10 or 11 games that year. So, classic espionage there going on. Just giving me false information. But man, you were spot on last season. They only had if memory serves me correct, I think it was 1 or 2 returning starters, and they struggled out the gate. But man, they closed the season. You could see them growing up as you watched. What was your assessment? Because you won, I think, your final 4 games. Upset a few teams there. I feel like dogs almost in every game down the stretch, one on the money line. So yeah.
I don't think I'm the guy that you're going to call for a stock market analysis, but I just had a feel going into last year, and I had mentioned 5-7, and it wasn't looking good. We lost after beating Merrimack, barely. We lost 7 in a row, and it was just that, Coach talked to you about it. It's just pulling these young guys up and saying, this is college football. Let's see what you can do. And we did close strong. And that 4-game winning streak, though he doesn't want to talk about it, it's very important going into this season.
Yeah. And that's the thing I think I've picked up on is, first off, I find it to be rare that he at any of the service academies to only have 1 returning starter or something. That I know that they're normally like upperclassmen, senior ridden teams, but still for the cupboard to be that empty as far as starting experience, I think was a pretty unique thing at a service academy. How about you covering it over the years? Can you recall a time where there was just 1 starter back prior to last season?
Colby, you'd have to go back to 2011, and winning 2 games that year. That was very similar. We had some times but the byproduct is what hopefully we'll see this year, right? It's that experience. It's that growing in the system. I think of Coach kind of like the Bill Belichick of college football, who has joined the college football ranks, as but minus, his wife, I think, and him are about 3 years apart, as opposed to the large gap with Mr. Belichick. But yeah, this is something I think that's going to pay benefits. I mean, if you look on paper, you can always see those back-to-back 5-7s in 2017, 2018. Just it's part of that process. We got lucky, and it didn't sting as much with the COVID exemption stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will. And shout out to David Matola, who says, shout out to my brother Brian, Air Force grad, big time Falcon fan since Bo and Blaine Morgan days. Hey, we're on this. I don't have a brother that was in the Air Force, but we're on the same page there. Let's start this slideshow. YouTube.com/The College Experience. You see one of the best uniforms in all of college football. And by the way, I did have a chance to sit down and talk to Bill Belichick. Go check out that as well. I talked about this on the Troy Calhoun interview, Rick, and I believe any list, like I see so many garbage lists for top coaches, and they don't have Troy Calhoun in the top 10 or the top 25. And I just can't take these lists seriously. Like the guy has delivered. Look at that, 5-7. Okay. If that's a bad season at Air Force, when you don't even get 3 stars, you just get, he's the guy, 2 10-win seasons in the past 4 years. I mean, how about this stat? He has 11 8-win seasons or more in 17 years, including 5 double-digit win seasons. I can't take a list seriously if he's not in your top 25. There's a reason why the NFL had him. I wanted the Colorado Buffaloes to hire him at one point when they interviewed him. What they went with Mel Tucker over Troy Calhoun. Idiots. But where are you at with Coach? Because I think he's one of the best coaches in the game.
I'm right with you, shoulder to shoulder. He is. I mean, this is Air Force football, right? The head coach is a former quarterback. The offensive coordinator is a former quarterback and baseball drafted player. The defensive coordinator is a former Air Force quarterback. Everybody that's teaching this system has lived this system their entire lives.
It's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful, dude. The offense, Mike Thiessen you're referring to, and I remember Mike. But yeah, and Troy, don't forget Troy played. Yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of alluded to that. He played quarterback in the '80s for Air Force. Last season, obviously, the cupboard was a bit empty. The stats reflected 125th in scoring offense, 132nd in pass offense, third worst passing offense. That's actually good for Air Force standards. Historically, Army and Navy were worse at passing. 10th in rush offense, 124th in total offense. I expect this number to go up immensely. Now, the main reason why would be this. Holy hell. Everyone's back except quarterback, it seems like. Now, 3 of 5 on the O-line, back with Tate, Falcon, Cooley. Fleischmann back at the tight end spot. Receivers Smith and Harris backfield with Carson and Frew back. Am I missing any? And then the big question, Rick, is because when I talked to Coach, he said he's going to play all 3 quarterbacks. I love Coach. Don't get me wrong, but I also know that I need to not listen to everything he says because he likes to throw us for he likes to do the old we don't know who we're gonna start, but in my mind I'm like, he knows damn well who's he gonna start. But what do you make of the offense, and who do you think will be starting?
Well, as far as offense goes, this paints a pretty deliberate picture. Now, what you don't see on the returning starters is guys that started a lot of games in place of. We've got Owen Allen behind Dylan Carson. They will be probably the best 1-2 punch we've seen since Emmanuel Michelle and Brad Roberts. And that was a powerful group of guys. Behind Cade Frew is a kid by the name of Cade and Cloud. He's going to show us some stuff. As far as the quarterback goes, and I would think this is probably the time that I most agree with the coach downplaying a position. It's a little bit bare just at the first glance. Now, I know these individuals that are in line to get a starting opportunity. I think they're quality young men. They're great, great cadet athletes. We were hoping to have back a guy, that started the last 4 games that we won, and that was not the case. He's actually transferred to the Citadel.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what we got is we've got Josh Johnson, who played a little bit. I'll tell you, the knock on Josh last year was he was fairly thin, right? He was a little bit underdeveloped physically. Seeing him this week, he really hit the gym, did what, and that's just about physical maturity for some people, but he looked physically way stronger. Behind him, or also equal to, might be a kid that I'm most intrigued about. His name is Liam Szarka, and that's SZ to start off. And he was a local Colorado football star, right? He had 100 or near 100 touchdowns in his high school career, won a state championship, won several awards, player of the year. He also was given one of the John Elway Rising Stars Awards. And just this kid, if it's not part of this year, it's going to be the next 2 years because he's just a sophomore. But Colby, write that kid's name down. He's special. He's going to get some time. And then we got some guys that are also in the mix. Probably one of my favorites is a kid that came in as a quarterback and he switched to fullback. And now, he might, because you saw how Army and Navy were playing their quarterbacks last year. So we'll see. His name is Kemper Hodges, 245 pound, 6 foot quarterback. And he would be great on short yardage.
Well, one of the things when I sat down with Coach that I do believe is he is convinced the offensive line and the defensive line are much better than a year ago. Do you echo that?
I echo it to probably the point that they will be the best in the Mountain West Conference. And, we got a lot of stuff going on after this year. But right now, the way the conference is set up, I believe that we have the best offensive and defensive line, and time will tell.
Oh yeah, I think that I'm reading the tea leaves here. The transfer portal. Oh, how refreshing! They don't have one. Yes, no work for Dundee.
Man, you get busy. I see you spent like 15 minutes the other day on this.
Oh man, dude, building these slides, you go through teams. You're like, they really have 56 new players in the transfer portal.
You're talking about Oklahoma?
Yeah, unbelievable. Love Air Force. Now, Brian Knorr, defensive coordinator, done a hell of a good job as a DC. Because I remember when, Virginia's DC. Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the previous DC.
He hated the option.
Yeah.
Was it Johnson?
Say it again.
Was it Paul Johnson?
No. What? As a defensive coordinator?
Well, Paul Johnson was the offensive coordinator for was it Georgia Tech, I believe.
Oh, and you remember when Brian Van Gorder mimicked him?
Yes.
And then Paul Johnson ran for like 600 yards against him.
Yeah.
Because he hated the option. No, you're talking about Bud Foster. Bud Foster, the legendary Virginia Tech defensive coordinator. I had a chance to sit down with him. I think he's one of the best defensive minds in the past 30, 40 years in college football. Him and Gary Patterson would be probably at the tops for me. And he was saying, I expected him to say, because I said, who was the hardest team to prep for? Like, who was like the one that like biggest pain? Like, you just knew. I was assuming he was going to say Miami because of like Andre Johnson and Edrin James. Those teams were just loaded. And he was like, no, dude. He's like Georgia Tech and Paul Johnson. I could not mimic that. No one can mimic how the timing and speed of that offense with just 4 or 5 days of prep. And he was like that. He said, I don't understand why everyone's not running it. He was like, what? He's like, half of college football should be running that offense because it's so hard to prepare for. Now Brian Knorr here, what I was referring to was he took over as DC. And I'm drawing a blank, but Tony Elliott at Virginia hired Air Force's former DC, and then Knorr stepped in. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but that's what I was saying. But Knorr's done a hell of a good job. They were, let me just rattle off these: 49th in scoring defense, 27th in pass defense, 74th in rush defense, charting at the number 40 defense in America. They return 3 on the D line, and that's, I think, the emphasis that coach was talking about there was he likes his line of scrimmage at Air Force. Daniel Groback, Peyton, how do I say that? Zdroik?
Zdroik, yeah.
Yeah. Aiden Schwartz. Oh man, Aiden Schwartz. Now,
yes, may the Schwartz be with you.
And may the Schwartz be with you. What a world, what a world.
Linebacker Blake Fletcher and strong safety Houston Hendricks is back, as well as punter Luke Freer, who I got to interview as well.
Did you see the update on Luke? He was added to the Ray Guy watch list today.
Now we're talking. Hell yeah. Congrats, Luke, man. And he liked coach's chances in the Royal Rumble, the Mountain West Royal Rumble. So we're good, man. So tell me about this defense, because it seems like the most inexperienced there is in the back half, the secondary linebacking core. But once again, if you told me I had to have an area back, it would be the D line. So I like that. But how do you feel about the linebacking core and secondary?
I think you're going to hear some players this year, maybe for the first time, but these are guys. Levi Brown is switching from safety to cornerback, mostly on need, but his physical ability is undeniable. You're going to have a guy by the name of Chances Carter-Hill at linebacker. He's going to be a senior. He's one of those guys that was originally recruited as a tight end. I've seen him, and he looks special to me. And I'm still to this day close to Bo Richter. I see some Bo Richter in chances. I see some in a kid by the name of Jackson Adams. Somebody that's probably not going to start initially, but these are kids you're going to see. You've got, of course, you mentioned Blake Fletcher, Luke Fisher. You'll be wearing number 0, which is odd for a linebacker. A lot of growing to do. Kyle Chan is one of the safeties you'll see back there. Also, you mentioned Hendricks. I think he's somebody that's growing in the position. Back towards around the line, guys like Jaden Akendo or Luke Rawls, who's actually listed as the starter at nose guard over Peyton Zadroik, but we imagine it'll be a rotation because the only knock on Peyton, and he is now in his 6th year between the prep school and the COVID year and injuries. The biggest knock on him is just staying healthy. If this kid can stay healthy, he'll be one that you will see playing on Sundays, undoubtedly.
Good to know that. Once again, no portal guys here. So now the question I want to ask you is defensively, do you expect them to be better than 40th or more of the same or a drop off?
I think they'll be better. I think I'm thinking, top 30. I really see, and we'll talk about the schedule. I see some opportunities there to shut some teams down, and I just cannot say enough about the defensive line. It's incredible. These are some large men, and we'll talk about Falcon O-lines are big now, but man, this defensive line, these are some men.
Fantastic. Now I got to ask about the offense here. I think this might be one of the biggest jumps that you'll see in all of college football, but a lot of it does ride on that quarterback position, which seems a little bit like taboo right now. I am assuming you think the offense will be a lot better, but I'm curious, how big of a jump do you think they could make?
Well, it just depends. If they have success early running the ball, which I believe they will because of this offensive line, I think they're going to start stacking the box. Not initially, though, because they're going to be wanting these young quarterbacks to have some turnovers. So I do believe it's going to be a large jump. I specifically believe that the running game is going to be a top 3 again, like they are almost every year. So those are things to watch for.
All right. Well, folks, we're going to talk more about the Air Force Falcons in a second here, but want to let you know that you are listening to the College Football Experience Air Force Falcon style, and we are brought to you by mybookie.ag. Yes, MyBookie is your place to bet on every single summer sport right now going on: CFL, MLB, golf, racing, tennis, WNBA. And of course, they have college football futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations as well. You can easily deposit, get lightning fast payouts using crypto. So head on over to mybookie.ag. But when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply, of course. That's mybookie.ag, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. You probably heard me talk about Rhythm before. They just dropped a new game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns or Rhythm's motto has consistently won as a very high ROI. Think like a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm and Rhythm only. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets, baby. The MLB power trends are crushing it. A lot of unders on batter hit props that are collectively hitting at a 70% rate. Fading players is profitable, folks. Look, WNBA power trends also since All-Star break 27-16 over at Rhythm on the power trends with a 23.36% ROI. They are absolutely cooking. Download the Rhythm app, check out power trends, and start betting smarter, folks. You know damn well we will be. Get your free 7-day trial period today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back. David Matola has been betting on wrestling. God bless you, brother. God bless you. Look, we do a thing. It's a new thing, Rick. I know you weren't with us. you were with us last season when you nailed the under, by the way, and you were to cover the team and then say the under was the play. Bravo. But also this year we do a thing called State of the Program where we look at everything, the coaching staffs, the rosters. We've already talked. Fan base and stadium is what I will touch on next. Falcon Stadium is 63 years old. I love this stadium. I'm giving it a 9 of 10, Rick. You obviously have been there countless times. How tell me a little bit about the game day experience there, because I love the fans and I look at the mountains in the background. Anytime you get a stadium with mountains, I'm a sucker for that. They've upgraded the press box. Tell me about the game day experience there and why people should go to an Air Force football game.
I'll tell you, it's the absolute best. If you're a visiting player and you're getting off the bus, and I've walked down with some of the opponents, and the first thing you see in the tunnel is a sign that talks about the dangers of high altitude. And that,
I got it.
Yes,
I got it in here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
You are playing at 6,600 feet. And then to go down and we've got state of the art locker rooms, for visitors and of course our home locker room. Then you step out there and you look at the most up-to-date carpet available, the turf that we use. And then you look to the left, you see this East Club section that's, I'll put it up against, some of these NFL stadiums, just as far as the accessibility and, it's so updated and beautiful. And then we've got our standard press boxes on the west side, which are great. But the thing that gets you, and we've talked about this before, the thing that reels you in is when you look up and look around, you then see the flyby. And
right there. Look at that up there in that shot.
It shakes you to the core, and it really pumps up this crowd and the team especially. And I've seen teams come in there. Oregon State last year, they were completely blindsided about what to expect and did not score a point. So it's great. We got a lot of stuff going on. We've got a Air Force Fan Fest coming up in a couple of weeks on the 16th of August. Our athletic director, Nathan Pine, and our associate athletic director, Matt McGahey, they have been with this program in its best years, and it really reflects in the way they lead that place. What a beautiful venue. These contributions were raised in such a way it had zero impact to, it's just all fans and all donors, and it's so nice.
Fantastic stuff there, man. And you got a live Falcon on the sidelines too. I mean, how kick-ass is that, man?
At halftime, listen to this part. At halftime, the best part, Colby, is they go through a little routine of throwing up their food and having these birds released and actually catching it. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, man. There's nothing like live college football, but then you throw in the Jets, you throw in the service academies. I mean, look at this.
Parachute jumps, we do that every week.
Oh yeah, man. The band, you get the band out there rocking. Nothing like college football. And there you go. There you go. Urgent warning to all. What does that say? 6,000 feet?
See, it should be 6,600, I believe. But yeah, that gets you right out of the gate. I'll tell you, one of my mentors in this program is a guy by the name of Mike Simler. His dad was George B. Simler that created the Commander-in-Chief trophy. And I'm hooked just based on my conversations with him on how this has evolved. It's amazing.
It really is, man. And I got to get up there for a game. The place is incredible. And they do college football right. Look at that. Look at that right there. Are you kidding me? Look at that.
It's beautiful.
Get out to a game. If you're in the area, get out, support Air Force Falcon football. They don't need your stinking transfer portal. All right. Man, yeah, I gotta go. Good fans, great time. What are you doing, folks? All right, you can have your NFL nonsense. All right.
Hey, direct message me. I will meet you at the game and I will show you around. That I want people to come out. This is an underutilized, magnificent stadium.
You said it right there, folks. At Falcon 8 fan on Twitter, hit him up. All right. State of the program. I put 8 of 10. You got you know, Air Force flirted with going to the American Conference when the Pac-12 / Mountain West thing was happening. The American Conference, which, you know, I was kind of on board with just because Air Force and Navy were there, but then part of me is like, nah, but I like them playing Wyoming, and even though I like to play in Colorado State, even though that's going to disappear, but New Mexico, there's the regionality of it. I like the regionality of it. Where you at with that, and where the state of the program is to me, as long as you have your coaching staff intact, which you do, I will always say 8 or 9. How about you?
Yeah, we're going to have those ebbs and flows that we talked about, but yeah, I think that the state of the program is solid. What you saw with us not leaving the Mountain West Conference, first and foremost, there was a very steep price to pay to leave, which we are not willing to pay. And secondly, and most importantly, I mean, you had a great interview with Coach, and there's not a more loyal person. And if he has an agreement in effect, if he says he's going to do something, consider it done.
There we go. Let's get to the schedule, folks. But before we do that, I do want to also let you know that the Air Force Falcon preview is brought to you by Circa Millions and Circa Survivor, the world's greatest sports book. Circa Las Vegas is hosting the world's biggest pro football contest, Circa Million, Circa Survivor, and Circa Grandissimo with over $21 million in guaranteed prizes. You can't call yourself a true DJ if you ain't competing in the Circa football contest. And come hang out with the SGPN crew, Sports Gambling Podcast guys. Will be out there Circa contest weekend, August 21st to August 23rd. Myself and Moneyline Mac, yes, the college football experience will be there doing live shows regarding week 0. Obviously, Farmageddon, Kansas State, Iowa State out there in Dublin, Ireland. We'll be covering that, live shows on that, and all the other week 0 games, Fresno and Kansas, and Stanford, Hawaii, Tarleton State, Portland State, Mercer, and UC Davis. I'm forgetting NC Central, Southern, Western Kentucky, and Sam Houston. Idaho State and UNLV. We're covering it all. So jump on out there. Live shows, open bars, plus you get 15% off your Circa stay because you know us, because the promo code is SGP15, 15% off. The contests are open for everyone. Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com. Use our promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. And last but not least, we're brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long. Giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. There's no waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best ball is the best way to play fantasy football, folks. So sign up. And when you do, over at UnderdogFantasy.com, use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits there. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. All right, we are back, and it is time to break down this Air Force schedule. Week 1, the Bucknell Bison out of Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, if memory serves me correct. Coming out, little Patriot League action. Want to know? I'd be surprised if you had Bucknell.
No, sir.
Want to know? I think, and look, this is a nice runway. All right, you see what I did there? This is a nice runway to your season because week 2 you got a bye week. Look at old coach playing QB with the Falcons back in the 80s. Let's go. I'm just curious. How are you on the early bye week? I personally don't like it.
With the composition of this team, you are going to see it benefit them probably more than any other team in football, just for the fact that experiment, whatever's going on in a game that you're going to play a lot of people against Bucknell, you're going to see somebody maybe solidify their spot at a certain position. So that I don't think it hurts them at all. It helps them, is my opinion.
All right. Well, then after that, you head to Merlin Olsen Field to take on Bronco Mendenhall. Go check out the interview I had with Coach Mendenhall as well. Look, I'm a huge Bronco Mendenhall fan. I think he's a fantastic coach, but I don't like the fact that it's early in the season. I think it will take a little bit of time for the team to adapt to him. Now, it wouldn't shock me because Mendenhall is a great coach if he pulled the upset, but I will take Air Force to go 2-0 and go into Maverick Stadium and get that win. What are you doing here?
Absolutely agree. I think it's a little early. Coach Mendenhall and Coach Calhoun have a history, and when he was at New Mexico, I think there was a total combined score of upwards of 90. So it's going to be maybe a fairly high scoring game, but yeah, Air Force
2-0, and then here we go, folks. Boise State coming into Colorado Springs. Notice they gave themselves a bye week before, and I think they are wise to do that because they know that Troy Calhoun and these Air Force Falcons, I would say, out of any of the teams in the Mountain West, have been the team to mess with them the most. I guess you could say maybe San Diego State when they had Rocky Long, but I feel like Air Force, man, they give them all they can handle. Boise's got a tough schedule, man. Notre Dame on the schedule. I think that's after this game, but they open up with South Florida in Tampa. We just did our South Florida preview. Go check that out. But I will take Boise, but I can't wait to watch this game because I think Air Force could do it. I'll take the points in Air Force. I'll tell you that. What are you doing here as far as like, do you got Air Force winning this game?
I don't. It's one of those that you described very well. I think it's kind of like we talked about with Utah State. It's young in the season for Air Force, and Boise State's been picked to win, for as long as they've been around as far as conference champions go. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say that it will be closer than some think, but there is a chance that Air Force will lose.
So 2-1 there, and then the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, Timmy Chang. Also check out that interview that's out there. I got Air Force winning this. Come on, you're going up the elevation from the island. I mean, that's a trip. All right. Yeah. Air Force 3-1. What are you doing here?
Yeah, same deal. I have seen Hawaii come in. I've been around this program for almost 20 years. They came in, I think, in 2016 and beat us in double overtime, but that's a rare exception. They did beat us a couple years ago in the island, so yeah, I'm ready for payback.
Let's go. 3-1, both of us right now. Then we have I might be going to this game. I'm thinking about going to this game. Air Force at Navy, Annapolis, Maryland. I already did the Navy preview, Rick, and I took Navy. I took Navy because they return everybody, and it's the second year in Drew Connick's offense. Especially everyone on the offensive side. I think on the defensive side they're replacing some guys, but I still expect this to be like any one play can be all the difference. One fumble, one play action pass. Air Force could easily still win this game, but I am taking the midshipmen to get this done. So I put Air Force at 3-2. What are you doing here?
Very similar. These games are never scripted. They're always close. I've been to Annapolis 6 or 7 times, and I always go in there with a certain mindset that it's going to come down to, like you said, 1 or 2 plays. So definitely, they are such a good team, and we beat the crap out of them consistently to help them evolve to the team they are. So it might be their year.
There you go. I like this, man. Then back-to-back away as you head to Las Vegas, to where the games that no one goes to. They decided to ditch Sam Boyd and play at the Raiders Stadium, where it's a shame what they did to the Raiders, in my opinion. I hate the Raiders in Vegas because if you've been to a game there, the Raiders have a passionate fan base, but I feel like you get more of the away team. I feel like you get I went to a Ravens game there, and I just felt like it was everyone in UNLV games. It's like, yeah.
It's exactly the way you're saying. I've got Trey Taylor, former Air Force safety, Thorpe Award winner. He's there, so I get to go to those games quite a bit. And your battle is always who is coming in for vacation to watch their team, whether it was Denver, Pittsburgh last year, a bunch of them. I mean, it is.
It's a shame though, because you remember
Yeah.
Oakland Coliseum, for UNLV's sake, Sam Boyd Stadium. I know they had tough years, but I remember like when John Robinson was there, and that place was getting lit. And it's like you basically you like sold your soul to like. I remember the Syracuse game last year, Syracuse UNLV. There was like it was like an 80% Syracuse crowd. Dan Mullen is new coach at UNLV. I got Air Force winning this, man. There's a lot of moving pieces at UNLV. I know they brought in a lot of SEC guys. I got Air Force going in there and getting the dub though, because I think you're shifting different defenses, different offenses. I think that's gonna, like I still expect UNLV to make a bowl, but I think they'll have some issues with defending Air Force. So give me the Falcons to get this one. What are you doing here?
Very simply, UNLV defensive line projected starters. Average weight is 279 pounds. Our offensive line, the average weight is 313 pounds. And I'll just go with the numbers. And some might call it an upset, but I do believe Air Force will run all day on these guys.
Let's go. I'm with you. Then out of Vegas, they come back home to Wyoming. It was funny. I was chopping it up with some of the Wyoming beat reporters there. The home team always wins this game. I should have done my homework for this, but I believe the stat was 15 out of the last 16 years the home team has won this game. Air Force is at home, so guess what? Win. Well, I'll tell you this though, Rick. If there's one thing I came away from Mountain West Media Days, I had already done my Wyoming preview, and I took them on the under. They're the one team that to me jumped out with an attitude that last year was nonsense and we're a much better football team. It was Wyoming. Talking to their offensive line and a few other players they had there and their coach, I do believe I evaluated Wyoming, and that was to me a benefit of going to media days. I think they're going to be a little bit better than people think this year. They seem to be very confident and very angry about how last season went, but I'll still take Air Force to get this done. What are you doing here?
Let's clarify something. The reason they're angry is they wake up every day in Laramie, Wyoming. I can't stand this team. I don't like their fan base. I don't like going up there every other year. And I'm completely done with them. Yes. Now on to the next game. Air Force win.
Not a fan of Laradice is the great Rick Bob. Next up, look, man, we got a bye week. Fisher to Barry, Bill Parcells, part of the coaching lineage at Air Force. Then out of the bye week, oh man, the Army Black Knights, Jeff Monken. I love Jeff Monken as a coach. I think he's fantastic, but they're reloading a little bit more than the other service academies. So, and the fact Air Force is at home, Air Force 17, Army 13. Let's go. Give me that win for these Falcons. What are you doing here, Rick?
Yeah, definitely. Close game. Always close. Always very physical. Unfortunately, over the years, some of our crucial injuries have happened in this game. So let's get a win, but let's stay healthy. Definitely my favorite matchup of the year.
Yeah, it's fire. It's at home too, man. Get out to a game. After that, they head to San Jose, California. Rick, I know we haven't talked much off, prior to this show, but I'm very high on San Jose State this year, and I talked about it with Coach, Troy Calhoun, and he was giving praise to Ken Niumatalolo and everything. And I already did our San Jose State preview. I took San Jose State. I do think this is a game, but I do like the fact that Niumatalolo has ran that offense or a similar offense so long. I think that's an area that he might have a little bit of an edge up on, and the fact the game's at home. So I took San Jose State here. I actually think they're going to be in the Mountain West Championship game. What are you doing here, man?
I don't know what I'm doing, but it sounds a lot like I'm copying you. And we don't ever mesh like this. It's kind of scary. I do believe Coach Ken is one of the top 5 in college football, along with Troy Calhoun. I also believe that this is an up and coming team. The only question mark that I have is they lost some key players. So it's going to be a close game. I'll give it to the home team. I loved going there. I loved the atmosphere in San Jose. So we'll see.
Legendary Spartan Stadium, man, where Dick Vermeil and Bill Walsh played. That's fire. You got to get out to a game there. After San Jose, dude, this is a random late season non-con game in Hartford, Connecticut against friend of the program, Jim Mora Jr. He's been on our show, or no Junior, just Jim Mora. So my number one bet of last season, Rick, was UConn on the over, and they cashed that thing by about 4 games. I am buying into what he is doing at UConn. I think that team is flying under the radar just because they're independent and they're, you know, up in the Northeast where college football isn't as popular, but this is a game to me. I struggled with this one, man, because I do think UConn is going to be a good football team again this year. I'll go UConn to get this one. How about you?
I'll go with Air Force, but I see what you're saying. Just an oddball. I'd love this to be the first game of the year at home, but that's not the case. We do have a home and home with them, so we will see them at Falcon Stadium. But if we're where we've been talking about, especially coming off a loss at San Jose, I definitely believe that we should beat UConn.
That's a tough, though, back-to-back away from San Jose, California to Hartford, Connecticut.
Well, and we talked about from Navy all the way to Las Vegas. They've got some tough games.
Yeah. Then after that, they host Jason Eck in New Mexico, who I do think will be better than people think. Jason Eck's a good football coach, and I really think New Mexico will be a better team than I saw everyone. I was at Mountain West Media Days, and the projections, I think they were dead last in the poll or something. They're second to last, one of the two. But they had the like, I'm just sitting there like, dude, I'm not saying they're going to win the Mountain West or anything, but I just believe the guy's a really good football coach. What he did at Idaho was really good. But I'm taking Air Force here. But I do think watch out, because I think this would be a dog. This is a former Wisconsin offensive lineman. All right. He's gonna have these guys ready to go up there and play ball. But give me Air Force again. And what are you doing here, man?
Yeah, Air Force. I do like New Mexico. They got a rare win last year in Albuquerque, and I think it's definitely about where this team is headed.
Yeah. So that puts us. We have the same damn record, don't we? We have the same losses, huh?
Well, I think the only difference I think is I picked Air Force over Connecticut, and you put Connecticut over.
That's
Air
right.
Force.
That's right. And then the final game of the season, Air Force at Colorado State. Troy Calhoun, and this is the final game, right? Is this on the schedule for the are they going to try to do a non-con matchup here?
No.
This is a bummer. I enjoyed this rivalry, but Troy Calhoun has kicked their ass over the years. Now, last season, Colorado State got him, if memory serves me correct. But I want to say I had done something where Calhoun had won like 13 or 15 or something against Colorado State. I'm reciting something from last season, so I might be off with my numbers by a game or two. But he has dominated Colorado State. I got Air Force coming in there and getting that dub. Take your stinking Pac-12. All right. What are you doing here?
I don't know. This might be one that I kind of try to balance out the UConn one. And the reason I say that is Canvas Stadium opened about 8 years ago. We've never lost in Canvas Stadium. And, if you flip a coin enough, it might come up the other way. This is going to be one of those inconsequential losses that's going to kind of balance out, my season predictions overall. But I'll go ahead and concede this one to them.
Wow. Okay. And then look, the win total is 5.5. They're plus 1,400 to win the Mountain West, plus 4,000 to make the college football playoffs. Bird's eye view of the schedule. We both have them at 8-4, right? I have my losses being Boise State, Navy, San Jose State, and UConn. You have your losses being Boise State, Navy, San Jose State, and Colorado State. I love this play. I think it's one of the best plays you can do. I am locking up the over 5.5. They're going bowling for sure. I think there's a shot. If you're an Air Force Falcon fan that likes to throw money up there, I think there's a shot plus 1,400 to win the Mountain West. Really, I like the fact they play Boise early. I think Boise is a team that lost some key production. Now, I still took Boise, but I would just say I like the fact they get Boise early. I think you want to get Boise early rather than late. So I think that's something that's nice for them. And then we'll see. But hey, you love the over as well, Rick, right? Because you're 8-4, I imagine, right?
I do. I think that injuries and stuff. I mean, I think the basement for this program in 2025 would be 6 wins, which is over. And I do believe, anything from 7 to 9 wins is very possible as well. So yeah, definitely the over. I've been pretty lucky on this and rolled it over up until last year. Got a considerable amount for this. So let's hope me and you being so aligned isn't going to hurt our luck.
Yeah, by the way, folks, this is where I remind you that he's never been wrong on a win total. That includes fading his own team. So he has been dead accurate every year we've done this, which is like 6-7 years now. All in. All right, Rick, I appreciate you hopping on the show. Folks, give him a follow on Twitter at Falcon8fan. Remember what'd you say there's a August 16th. There's a fan day, right?
Yeah. So at Falcon Stadium on Saturday, August 16th, from 9 a.m. to about 2 p.m. You're gonna see the scrimmage. The last hitting before we get ready for the season. You're gonna have all kinds of freebies, all kinds of autographs, all kinds of free food. Tour the upgrades in the stadium, come down on the field. I mean, you might even get to fly a plane. I'm just joking. But come to Falcon Stadium. Try to come to a game as well. You will not be disappointed. I'll tell you, that's why I haven't gone anywhere.
Amen, man. Get yourself out to Falcon Stadium, whether you're in Colorado, whether you live in Colorado, or whether you're visiting Colorado. You will not be disappointed. It is the epitome of great college football. All right, folks, that's our show for tonight. Go check out. We did a South Florida preview prior to this. I appreciate you, Rick, as always, man. Anything else you want to say, brother?
I'll tell you, and I say this every year. What a pleasure it is to come on here, talk to you, a strong football mind, but I'm giving you an ultimatum. And I know you got a 1-year-old, so I'm going to give you a little bit of flexibility. But in the next couple years, whether it's me meeting you in Maryland or you coming out here, let's go and see some Air Force football together.
I will take you up on that, brother. Yeah, and I want to go out there to Falcon Stadium. I'll meet you in Annapolis too, though. I'll raise you one higher, but one on each side. There you go. Let's go, brother. All right, and I'll bring my son. His name is White Tiger, so I'll bring White Tiger to the game. We already got him. He was at ACC Media Days. White Tiger was. All right, so he didn't make it to Mountain West. I wanted to keep him out of Vegas because if he's anything, if he's anything like his dad, it doesn't matter if he's 1-year-old or not. All right. But
all in.
Yeah, but appreciate you, brother. Folks, lock up the Air Force Falcons. I put together a slideshow honoring the history of Air Force football to close out this show. I love Air Force football. I love Coach Calhoun and what he does. And folks, get out to a game. And if not, just watch them on TV because they're everything that's great about college football. Till next time, folks, enjoy that slideshow. This is the college football experience, Air Force Falcon style. Aim high, miss small. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Mailbox 1. You have 7 old messages.
1. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart. My body and soul are nothing without heart.
I'm impossible to outdo. Mind, body, and soul are nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. We're the obsession to be a part of that, started that. Mind over matter don't matter in the market. I've seen much smarter cats have heart attacks. Logic cause leaders need lambs to be lethargic. Match wits with the half-wit phantom. I don't need jumper cables or mic cords to analyze an analytical anthem. Between my two ears, an engine pumping the life force. Force field for your grip on the grievance. Still gonna feel unchallenged and bored stiff. So arrange the pieces to prepare cohesive. All the hard work will go largely ignored if your hands are covered with post-its and paper cuts. You need to have your voice in the vice grip. The one who made it famous ain't the one who made it up. You don't get overtime just for working the night shift.
I'm taking a piss right now. It's like
I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart mind, body, and soul, and nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun mind, body, and soul, and nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo mind, body, and soul, and nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. Every time I close my eyes, I'm taken to the same place, a playing field, and every contestant's got the game face. Everybody's yelling, you ought to play it safe. Make sure them shoes are tied and ankles taped. Shake the cobweb, hit the ground running. This is how cunning I can get with the footwork. You're doing it right, well, it shouldn't hurt. Flirt with greatness, still I run the famous. Nice high heels, I got mics for spikes. Trampling the home team and the turf for life. For the few fleet of foot, too fast for me. I fear none, cause I run and ignore the pair of feet by the tree that are fast asleep. In love with the game, you adore the head. I believe in achievement. My soul isn't rewarded just cause it sees a goal and moves toward it. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart mind, body, and soul, and nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun mind, body, and soul, and nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo mind, body, and soul, and nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. Conspiracy theories, gotta love them clearly. Nothing's more entertaining than entertaining a query. Just the words of the wise and the weary. Recognize the authors of reality and theory. Theoretically, I could have won Scribble Jam. In reality, I lost to a legend. Theoretically, I'm best friends with Uncle Sam. In reality, I've never even met him. Now one day my potential may become reputation. Until then, I'm still a work in progress. I suggest you question what I'm saying. If anything, to become familiar with the process. My agenda may suit your needs. When I say your Bill of Rights has been ripped to shreds, but if it defends what you believe, hold dear to your truths and scream fuck seeds. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart mind, body, and soul, and nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun mind, body, and soul, and nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo mind, body, and soul, and nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself.